Welcome to the Romance Your Tribe podcast with me, Janet Beckers, where every episode is about action, creating an online business you absolutely love, and bringing joy to the work you do. Let's get this party started. Everybody, Janet Beckers here with a very exciting episode of Romance Your Tribe podcast, because today we have the gorgeous Megan Van Genderen, who is our tribal spotlight of the month, which means I look across all these people who are working through the Romance Your Tribe or the Attract Your Tribe program with this vision to create and expand their business. So they're making a difference worldwide. And there are people who I just love their story because I can see the changes that they've made in themselves through the process of being able to create an exciting business. And I love to bring their stories to you so you can really see what it is like to be in the trenches doing this transformational work. And Megan has really stood out to me as someone who is driving the growth of her business from such a beautiful place of caring, but also that personal growth that goes through to like totally owning her stuff. So Megan, it's so great to have you here, and thank you so much for being our spotlight. Now, before we get stuck into exactly where the processes that you've been going through and the changes that you've made, can you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us, who is Megan Van Genderen? Like, what is your business and why now? Like, what are you, the vision that you have?
Oh, thank you for having me, Janet. I'm happy to be here. So I'm Megan Van Genderen. I'm a certified practicing nutritionist, and I concentrate a lot on developing your relationship with food. So not so much, throwing you meal plans that I've photocopied and concentrating on scales or anything like that. A big part of my practice is building and establishing and managing a beautiful relationship with food. And I have been on your journey of your Attractive Tribe program for a fair few months now. It's taken me a little while to get to launching stage because I got a lot of bodies in my house and a lot of things, a lot of balls to juggle. But yeah, a lot of late nights, and I am finally here to be able to launch my business. And it's because I've moved through your program and been really methodical and been able to get to where I am. So I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, and I'm really pleased that you brought out about the methodical, because a lot of times when people see somebody who has created some success, and by that success it may be, wow, here is somebody that's built this crazy 8-figure business, or here is somebody that, wow, so she's, all of her competitors may be doing things in one way, but wow, here is someone that's taken it to the next level. So, when people see whatever that level of success is, a lot of times it can seem like, they just, there was something magical about them or something that was made it easier for them. So I'm really pleased that you brought up the unsexy, like just being disciplined, like the work that you've got a system that works, but following it step by step. So,
and I think that transcends into how I work with my clients as well. Like it's absolutely a process. Like things come thrown at you and you have to be flexible with that, but it's a process to get to where you want to be. And so I think that's why the methodical nature of the way that I've approached your particular program as well has worked so well with me. Because I knew where I wanted to be, and so I knew the steps that I had to get there. I've had a lot of things thrown at me during the journey, but I've always been able to go back to that stability and reach the results that I wanted to get to.
So let's just talk a little bit about, you've mentioned a couple of times here about all these things that are being happening in your life. Now, I think it's really important that we just give people a snapshot of what it is like being Megan Van Genderen on a daily basis. And this is not just for, whoa, this, if you've got this, anything is possible. It's because I'd like to have so many people know this, because this actually ended up being one of your superpowers when it came through to how you're growing your business. So what people may see as something that's an obstacle, you were able to turn this around, and we'll talk about that, into something that ended up being, a true asset. So tell us, what is it like day to day being Megan?
Like a 25 words or less version. I'm a mum of 2 smaller children. I'm a stepmom of 2 teenagers, which is a lot of fun. I'm a wife to my beautiful husband, and also we care for my mother-in-law, so my husband's mother, who has vascular dementia and Alzheimer's. So she's a 24/7, much like having a baby. She's a 24/7 member of our household that demands a lot of our attention and love and care. But so do our little kids as well, and inadvertently so do the big teenagers as well. They need a lot of love and care and support, even though they're able to look after themselves. And my husband runs his own business from home. I'm trying to run my own business from home. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of, anybody who's a mum or cares or a parent will know that curveballs just get thrown at you all the time, and you've got to be able to catch them and do your best.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, that would be a reason to go, look, I'm just going to wait until this period of time is over, and then it will be my time to be able to concentrate on this. But I know when you first joined the program, you were kind of like, yes, I've got a few hours of childcare a week.
Yeah,
like I am making the most of that. And I must admit, I found, especially my productivity when my kids were little, and a lot of women who are mothers with lots of demands and with young children, there is something about everything, you've got so much on your mind, you're so organized that I just find that is a peak productivity period of your time. So you don't necessarily want to wait, because man, you're on fire just juggling balls, and this is just another ball.
Come at me. And it just got like this momentum of, well, let's just keep going with it all. So and I think the attraction as part of the stuff that I've been doing with you is that where my husband and I are quite marooned to home now because of the care level that we have to provide for Oma. So being online and being able to have Zoom consults and things like that is really attractive. So I haven't felt like you say, I haven't felt like I've got obstacles and I just throw my hands up and give up. There's ways around the ways that I can keep my business producing. So I've taken them on, basically.
Yeah. Good on you. So for people who are listening and you're thinking all these reasons why I might need to wait till I get all my ducks in a row, those little suckers, they never line up anyway. So don't wait. Don't wait. There is never a perfect time. And in fact, as we will discover, this is a unique time that there may, that gave you the inspiration to be able to go down a completely different path. So in order for people to understand that, can you just share a little bit about Oma's applesauce? Because we will refer to that as we're going.
So we had, when we were in the period of lockdown where we were pretty heavy and it was like a national lockdown, my mother-in-law, she couldn't go shopping. So it was messing with her routine and progressing her dementia. So we decided to have a shopping center at home, and we play like that with the kids all the time. But this particular one, Jason, my husband, filmed it, and he just threw it on his Facebook page like he does anything else, because he is a filmmaker, and it went viral and went around the world, and like ScoMo shared it on his Facebook page. So it went nuts. And we just had so much love come back at us about this particular video that was just a really generic thing that we do all the time at home. But I think because it was lockdown and everyone was feeling locked down, and like we couldn't, it was such a lighthearted serendipitous thing that ended up happening. So we harnessed that power and wanted to create a community around helping other people to in terms of our dementia journey and our carer journey with OMA, just help other people to relate to and have some, relief and things like that. So now we've got well over 100,000 people that are tuning into a Facebook page called OMA's Applesauce, where we just share stories about how we're looking after OMA, and they're not necessarily always beautiful and amazing and memorable. Like there's lots of Debbie Downer moments that happen as being a carer, and things like that. And the community is so unbelievably strong. Like the engagement is just off the Richter, and it's all organic and beautiful and just really real. So yeah, that's still sort of ticking away over 12 months later since we had this crazy video go viral in April last year. So and Jason and I really treasure that audience. Like it's like I say, it's an organic audience that's just grown from this one video, and we really see it as a platform to be able to create change one day as well, because there's so many people engaged from across the world.
Yeah. And you know what, I love this, because this beautiful tribe developed when you say organically, so people, when we think of organic, it just means that you haven't paid for the for the traffic.
Yeah.
But the thing that's come here is, I think why this particular tribe is so incredibly strong is you've had this beautiful combination of creativity, where you guys have been creative in what you do with her, what you do with your family, and the way that you tell the story. You've also been quite authentic, like while still being respectful. You still have been, this is like the highs, the lows. This is how we feel. This is why we're doing this, but also from an exceptional place of love and caring. And really, when you think about building a tribe, the tribe will form as long as those values, that this is what we believe if we hang around here together, those values resonated with a lot of people. And so I love this part that this tribe has built, not because you had the end point in mind, but you were very, very clear on what you stood for. Yeah. And you creatively communicated that. So for people that are thinking, what do I have as my tribe? Just thinking about, really get clear on your values. Like, what is it that you stand for that other people will go, oh yeah, I stand for that as well. Yeah. That's how I approach this. That's why I think this is important. I will hang around. I will bring my mates. So we now have, we have OMA's Applesauce. We have this amazing, crazy busy life. And we also have all of your experience and your training that is to do with nutrition. So now let's move over. You've signed up for the Attract Your Tribe program. Now, that was because you were thinking, it's my time. I'm going to build this business. Would that be a right way of saying it?
Yeah. But I needed a gateway of discipline to be able to get there, or I was just going to keep floating. Like I was just going to keep treading water. I needed something that was going to keep me on task. Really hone it, like what you're talking about with the values and authenticity. Because I'm a client-facing practitioner, like. I wanted all of my love and respect and, absolute empathy to come out, so that could be projected when people want to look for a nutritionist. But I needed that methodical journey to be able to get me to the result that I needed, which was to be able to launch. I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have the steps in place.
Yeah, because your mind, you've got so many things happening. Nobody's got time to try to work out the steps and put them into an order. Like you need to know something's going to work, because your time is like everybody, your times are so obviously sort of limited.
Yeah, and so I have very finite time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got to just hit the ground running. You don't want to have to think too much. So what I'd like to do is just explore a little bit further here, some sections here that I can see that people are going to get some real lessons from. Now, the very beginning, the first part of the Attract Your Tribe program, we look at the profit in you, which is really, really looking at what is unique about you that you bring to your business that nobody else does.
Yeah.
And then we also look at the profitable avatar, like really understanding your tribe. And then the last part there that really, before we move over into creating creating your offers is really finding that sweet spot. Like, why do I bring these two together? Because if you can't nail this, it doesn't matter how many offers you put together, how busy you are on social media or ways of list building, you're not going to get the right people and you're not going to be able to give the right results. So this part is really strong foundational work. And I wanted to really share here, because you started going down one path. And then it had an aha and then went down another path. So can you just share a little bit of that story?
So a big part of how I wanted to, just because of my time, a big part of what I wanted to do with my nutrition was to make sure that I was concentrating on a market that I had a real experience and connection to. So in the beginning, I always thought that I would be heading towards pregnancy and postpartum, just because I had experience. So it was going to be easy for me to be able to do that. And as I was working through the modules, and doing like part of the research inside the modules and things like that, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to make any more noise than is already out there. I was really realizing that this was really saturated, and I knew the capacity of my time and my effort, I wasn't going to be able to pave through, like swim through.
I like how you do
the same thing. So I went, what am I doing? Like I didn't feel confident. And normally, and I likened this to how I normally do everything. Like whenever I do study in high school and whatever, I would write an essay, I would scrunch it up and I would start again. So I was like, I think this is just one of those moments where I have to scrunch it all up and I have to start again from the beginning. And so I did, even though I knew that was going to take me more time. I knew I have to start again. And I just had one of these moments. It was a couple of months ago. It was just after New Year's, and I just had one of these moments where I was like, why aren't I, looking at my other experience, which is being a full-time carer? Like, why aren't I looking at this as something that's really, really important? And I think it was in the back of my head the whole time, but I didn't have time to think about it. But going through the motions of being a primary carer for somebody who can't speak for themselves and can't advocate for themselves, and understanding the services that are available to them, I was like, there is such a wide open space here for me to be able to swoop in and help with relationship with food, with people who can't advocate for themselves, and help the carers that are trying to help them as much as they possibly can. So my programs then, so after I'd smashed everything up, I went, I'm going to hone in on my experience and my expertise and help carers to be able to build a relationship with food and maintain a relationship with food, a safe relationship with food with the people that they're caring for. So that. Yeah.
And you know what, I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are listening here that may be in that kind of sandwich generation of, you've got children, but you've also getting quite dependent parents. And because I know with myself, I've often going, Megan, my mum, she's getting really frail and she's got really specific nutrition things, and we're running out of ideas. Like, how do we keep the nutrition going with with what she likes to do and what is practical to do, and we don't want to disempower her, all these sorts of things, all these things to consider, that is actually really quite consuming for people who are they're in that caring situation. So we could really see that. Now, I remember when we were looking at the research, and because I love it, because Megan shares all of her homework. There's always these steps through the whole program about come over to the group now and share this part here, and then dip into the celebration box. And so you're wonderful in that you're sharing what the different steps you're doing, because it allows me and other people to give input and to be able to ask you the right questions for you to be able to go, okay. Now, I remember a really big hurdle for you was that you built this beautiful community that were really engaging with you and your family around the care of Oma. So you have this, what some people would go is, there is an audience of 100,000 people of your target market who are needing help, this is the people who you can go to. Now, that brought up some really big resistance, didn't it?
Huge, yeah.
Yeah. So could you just share a little bit about that? Because I know that this is anybody who's in a healing profession is going to relate to this.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're all so nice.
Mm.
But so we had this community that was just growing, and it just continues to grow exponentially. And my husband and I had some real values and rules around how we were going to treat this tribe as well. And so that made a really, obviously there was a huge audience that was, I could just sort of go for, but we are so grateful for that audience, and we sort of hold on to it like a precious little ball. Like, it's not something that we ever wanted to exploit. But I think the great way that we had a chat about it was that, turn this around, much like I'm turning my business around to make it more friendly to me being marooned at home. Turn this around and say, well, if your help was there, wouldn't you want, if from their point of view, wouldn't they want your help? And because you're saying, my mom's getting frail and I'm worried about her eating and her well-being and her relationship with food and things like that as well. So when I sort of reframed that a little bit, and we talked about, you're not going to go out there and say, I have this offer, buy now, 50% off. Like, we were never going to do anything like that. It would just be very subtle. This is here, take it or leave it. And that's how it was going to be a gift, and it wasn't anything that they had to do, so in that regard, it worked within how I was comfortable to be able to approach that audience, basically.
So I think strategically, because this is a really important thing for people, you use the word exploit, and I find this a lot when because I work a lot with people who are in healing professions, where they really will get drawn to this work to make a difference, to help more people, to get out there. And also because a lot of times people are just burning out themselves because they're giving. So they need to be able to leverage, their expertise to help more people so they're not burning out. But that word exploiting is a huge one for people in a healing industry, because there is that real tearing between I'm helping people, but I should really be helping them for free, because, otherwise it's exploiting them. Whereas, so that's a big thing when it comes around to building a business. So the way that I remember we worked this out so that you could not feel as if you were exploiting, but at the same time be strategic, because you're building a business. You don't want to just keep on giving and giving and giving and giving. So we looked at, okay, let's see something that we can give as a gift that is going to attract the people who need your help and want your help, attract them from this beautiful pool of people over to a new place. So we're going to create a sub-tribe. So tell me, strategically, what did you put in place? Because this is when we were getting after we've done the Profit in You, where you have that beautiful personal development sort of introspection, getting to know why you've worked out your sweet spot. Now we were looking at the strategy of putting everything there together. We were putting together your offers, your irresistible offer, your packaging for profit, like really working out what you could do. So how did you get people from the Oma's applesauce tribe? What did you use to entice them? And this is for people who are listening that want this help, make sure you write down, like meganvangenderen.com. So what did you do to be able to draw those people over?
So I guess what was, Oma was going through a stage where we had to completely change her diet because of a diagnosis that she'd had. So I was able to do that because I'm
that's your gig, baby.
So I was really happy to do that and excited to do that for her. So I had a bit of a gift in order to do that, and I created a whole new list and a meal plan for Oma, and I wanted to share that with the community because a lot of people had been asking, I had actually asked the community about some Dutch recipes because Oma is Dutch. So once I had let them sort of into me a little bit more, they gave me all these recipes, like all these Dutch flavors and things like that I could incorporate into Oma's diet and what I was cooking for her. And then I very subtly said, if you want to see all the recipes and the meal plans that I've perfectly tailored just for Oma, pop over to my Facebook page and have a look at them. So on my Facebook page, then I had a link to my website. So you had to go to my website from my Facebook page, have a look on my website, and then I had all the recipes there for free. They were all there. There was 10 of them and they were all for free. Have a look through them, go for it. Within 5 seconds, there's a pop-up to say, if you want this delivered to your inbox so you have it forever, chuck me your email address and I'll send it to your inbox.
Right. And so how has that worked for you?
Yeah, really, really good. It went nuts. Like, it went nuts. So I have like over 400, I had over 400 subscribers to that alone, and it's still ticking over. Like, it happened really, really quick. But in the first couple of days, it happened really, really quick. And I've still got that just sort of ticking over. So there's a list that's just building organically now, and I don't even have
Excellent. Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I said, buy now, take this. I just said, if you want these beautiful recipes that I've tailored just for Oma, here they are. So, and then I've also got on my on that page that says, look, if this is something that, and it's not a sell, it's just, if this is something that you're interested in for the person that you care for and you love for, I can do exactly the same for you. I can create meal plans and tailor everything specifically to the needs of the person that you're caring for. So there's a little video up there that I did all myself and uploaded it all myself and created it all myself and shoved it up there. And
excellent.
Yeah. So now I still just drip feed that audience new recipes every week, or new tips about increased protein, or just whatever is, I know what's going to be in their interest. And I'm just drip feeding them constant recipes and things like that. So, yeah.
So the really nice thing here is being able to, first of all, your mindset stuff around the idea of exploiting and actually giving value.
Yeah.
Now, when one thing that I know that we added in, because it was one of the things that we can kind of have as an extra suggestion in there, and when you're putting together your tribe attracting, your lead magnet, the thing that's getting them on is it's a quick questionnaire. So it can be, we have like an email sequence that you can add in. That's, well, the first one is, hey, just drop me an email. Tell me what your biggest frustration is. And so you've added that in. So you were saying that you're getting some greater insights into this sub-tribe, like what is it that they want?
Yeah. So 2 weeks later, so I did a couple of just follow-up emails like we talked about. And then about 2 weeks later, or maybe a week later, I did a really quick survey, like a jot form. Tell me what your biggest frustration is about the person that you're caring for, and tell me what you want more from me of. And I think I had about 50 responses. So Excellent. Then I have all these ideas on what I need to keep providing for them. So I was like, oh my God, it works, Janet. Like, I texted, oh my God, this works. This is amazing. I have all this stuff now that I was so excited because you said to do that and it bloody worked.
Yes, you say it bloody worked.
Yeah, no, but it was like, and now I have just this wealth of more resources that I can just provide and make everyone feel gooey. Like, it's really, really good. It's really good.
So now the next stage that we're looking at, and just keeping in mind that Megan is partway through doing the Attract Your Tribe course. So it's not finished yet. So I wanted to just share this story of what happens when you're, some of these are the big ones, is like, really, what is it that's unique about me, so I can find the right business, the right angle, the thing that's going to work for me, and really get to know this tribe, so that when you go out with your offer, apart from the offer being of, okay, I can do this personally, is when it comes to then going, okay, well, actually, I'm going to create something that doesn't mean I have to be doing more and more work, that I can leverage it. It's just so incredibly powerful to know that you've got those insights. That whatever you're creating, people actually want it.
I've got the engagement. Yeah, that's what's really humbling, is that I know, okay, I've got it, like my Facebook likes are increasing. People are responding to my emails. There's engagement within engagement on my Facebook posts. So it's not me having to, it's people sharing and engaging.
Oh, brilliant.
So you can't buy that.
Yeah.
I know I'm onto something.
Yeah.
So I'm so humbled. I'm so humbled because it's like, okay, I've got something that people want.
Yeah.
But like you say, I haven't quite finished the last part because I just wanted to get out. There was some universal things colliding and I wanted to get out. There was a full moon. Evie got a day at daycare, day at daycare. I told him I was ovulating. Like there was all these signs pointing, just launch. So I did.
Yeah.
And I'm just really happy because I kind of have this, like a big win to say, okay, you're doing the right thing. Like everything's fine and it's ticking over. So it's okay. You're onto something. But yeah, I have a little bit left in your Attract a Tribe program that I know now I need to get onto.
Yeah. And you know what the exciting thing is a lot of times people will think they have to have all of those things. Again, the ducks in the row.
I would have thought that too.
Yeah, but you don't. You've done exactly the right thing. Like, get it out there, because you can only know from taking action if what you're doing, the wording that you're using and the words that people are saying back to you, that's the only way for you to know if this tribe is actually going to grow and want to be able to have what you have got to offer. And so actually not doing it all in one go, but just going, right, this step, out there it goes. Because this is what people do too few of. They don't take the time to really get inside the mind of the people that they're going to be serving. And so they're making so many assumptions that they're not sure if, they'll go out and they'll go, why didn't it work? Well, you were this close. You just didn't get it right because you didn't take the time to get to know the people, to create something that they can be building around. So you've created this beautiful step. And I know once we've done this final step, I'll be inviting you back because people will want to hear what you've done. But let's look at this next step here, because one of the concepts that I really talk a lot about throughout the whole program, in fact, on the very first page, you sign for yourself what's called a scare-sighted contract.
I knew you were to say that.
Yeah. So can you share what the idea of scare-sighted and a scare-sighted contract is, and this next step? Because I think it's so important for people to understand that you don't just resolve the mindset stuff immediately. It keeps it will, you've got extra layers you're going to have to work through. So can you just share a little bit of insight into that?
Well, the scare-sighted was more of a feeling, wasn't it? Like it was, I know where I want to be, and then there's going to be resistance holding me back. So for me, when I was signing, it was like it was in here, like like take a deep breath in. It was in there, and it was like, oh my gosh, I have to keep coming back to this. So I guess where I'm at now is the conversion stage, and it's the real ask, and being a health practitioner, that is really difficult for a lot of us to say how much we're worth and make you pay for it, like, because you just deep down you just really want to help, and that's why you've chosen this profession. I'm at the everything's ticking over really nicely. I've got lovely engagement, but I need to now convert, and that's scary but exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember the nice part is I put together a spreadsheet that you can be using so that you can work out exactly what your costs, your time costs, all of these sorts of things. What are the different costs that go into you delivering any kind of packaged service, whether it's going to have a lot of one-on-one for you or whether it's a course. So you can then calculate, well, what's my profit margin? How much do I need to sell this for in order, for how many people, for how much money? So it takes all that emotion out.
Yeah, that helped so much to be able to just really understand my worth as well. Like it was, I sat on that for a few days, to be honest, because it was so helpful in just going, no, you are worth what you think. What's spitting out in that spreadsheet, you are worth it because you put so much effort into this, and you have expertise and you have experience on top of all these numbers. you have expertise and experience and empathy and love and respect and everything that goes along with what you're trying to achieve from someone to go from here to there. So that spreadsheet was so helpful in just giving me another tool to back myself and say, no, that's what it's worth. Okay.
Yeah.
Just shut up, and that's what it's worth. Okay.
Absolutely. And I just love it. I love it that you're going into that energy now. Yeah. I am worth it.
I am. Yeah.
I get the results. I know I get the results. And you can fake that, but you've got that now because you have so diligently gone through those processes that actually make you have to face how brilliant you actually are and acknowledge it through every step. So I remember what you were saying right here at the beginning is you knew what the next step was.
Yeah.
The conversion step. You've worked out your packages, but you've avoided that next step. And so that's what's happening now, isn't it?
That's what's happening now.
Yeah.
That's where I need to be now. And that's what I need to do now. We've had a bit of a health crisis with Oma this week. So we've absolutely wiped the last week. It's been a bit hectic up in here, but I know that's next. And I feel like, in some sort of weird way, this is probably just this big mountain that I'm climbing at home, and that's a big mountain that I have to climb in my business head as well. So that's where I have to be next. But like going through, even just from the starting with the profit in your program, and just like honing in a little bit more on myself and where I've come from and why I'm here, how I got here and why I'm here, and just really acknowledging my time is really finite, and like the time that I have to put into my business or my clients, like if you need to fit into that for me, and I will deliver for you. Do you know, like it's I've had a lot of ahas all the way through this, and just realizing that I just want to get it. I just want to get results. I want to get results for myself, and I want to get results for clients, and I can do it. Yeah.
So I'm so pleased. Thank you so much for today. The reason now, you might be, as you're listening to this, going, but hang on, we haven't got to hear the end of the story yet. This is why I have invited Megan now, because so many times you only ever see the finished story, and a lot of the story is concentrating on the very end part of where it came to. This is how many sales that I made. I wanted to share with you when we've got to this part in Megan's story, because honestly, without this process that you've gone through, and the work and the willingness to scrunch it up, throw it in the bin and start again, and that willingness to each stage to step into that scare-sided feeling of, you know what, I can invite people to a sub-tribe. I don't have to allow my fears of exploiting to, hold me back and stop helping people. Those, that insane busyness that you have is not going to be the thing that stops you. If you don't do this part here, this next part is absolutely not possible. And the next part now is the easiest. Honestly, it is the easiest part. It sounds like it's the hard part, and it's really intimidating. And of course, there's things to do. But once you've got all the rest here, people are waiting for it. And so it's just now a matter of going, okay, this is what I can give you. And that's where that part becomes easy. So I really wanted to share everybody with you the power of this story so far, and the power of tribe and stepping into scarce-sighted. And I'm so incredibly grateful for you for sharing this with us, Megan, and your incredibly valuable time. I know we've gone over.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Now, Megan, where can people go now to be able to get these wonderful recipes and stay part of your tribe?
All right. Well, you'll probably need a pen because I have a really complicated last name.
Right. I'll put links here as well, so don't worry.
But you can head over to my website, which is meganvangenderen.com. And it's also Megan Van Genderen Nutritionist on Facebook and Instagram. So, grab a couple of links because my last name is ridiculous. But I've got plenty of recipes. I've got lots of stories about me and my family and things like that, and things that make me tick, and exactly how I want to work with people, which is just hugely around building a relationship with food and harmonizing within yourself, basically. So yeah, I look forward to meeting a lot of you.
Yeah, brilliant. So thank you so much for your time, everybody. Go over there for Megan. And one of the best things that you can do as a way of saying thank you for how open Megan has been today and generous with her time is, number one, is to give some feedback. So just go over there, and when you do go and stalk Megan, just send her a comment, an email or whatever, just telling her the ahas. What did you learn from today that's going to impact on you? And share what she's doing with people who you know will benefit. Now, my challenge to you, everybody, is I want to hear from you. Like, what is one thing that you have taken from today that you are going to take action on this week, that you have learned or been inspired or got an idea from Megan that you were going to go and apply this week to help you to grow your business? I would love to hear that from you. I would love, wherever you're watching this podcast, to share what that is, and inspire other people to do something there as well. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the Attract Your Tribe program, a really great place to start actually is the romanceyourtribe.com/success map, because that's my free opt-in, and it'll help you to work out what are the first steps that you need to do. And then you'll also learn about the Attract Your Tribe program then as well. So you can come and join us over there. Thank you so much for your time, Megan. Big hugs to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks
and
so
gold
much.
stars. Megan's always getting gold stars on her homework.
I'm a total nerd.
Yeah. It's funny. So
all
thank
right.
you for your time.
Thanks
and we will
much,
invite you back later in the year.
Happy to be here. Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I loved hanging out with you, so let's do this again. The best way to do that is to subscribe right now to Romance Your Tribe podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like to dive in deeper to more episodes, great resources, and really in-depth free training, come over and join me at romanceyourtribe.com. Bye.